Welcome to Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group. We are a podcast focused on benefit auctions and fundraising events for the nonprofit community. We are a group of fundraising professionals that specialize in raising funds to improve communities of all sizes. And here it is, episode number 15. I'm Shelby Stokes. On the cast today, Kelly Shinfield.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming back.
And Paul Shinfield is also here.
Thank you. As you can see, thank you.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Move my head over. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. You guys are awesome.
Thank you for being a friend.
Ooh,
Thank
good.
you for being a friend.
I want to thank you.
I mean, yes. Well, one of the best songs ever released. Yes, we are here. We are doing a podcast. It's been a minute because COVID-19 hit us.
It just feels like it's been a minute. I keep trying to tell him that. It hasn't been that long. We had a blooper reel last week, and the week before we had a podcast.
I know, but it just feels like
He's
COVID
lost time
hit my family,
with the COVID.
and then like 2 weeks disappeared. So I don't know where I am, what's going on, but I can tell you that this morning I was at a donut party.
It was called Doughnuts for Grown-Ups.
Doughnuts for grown-ups. That's right. I also thought about calling it diabetes for adults, but I refrained
Diabetes
from
for
mentioning
adults.
that at the school. Did not feel appropriate.
It was neat to be a part of that.
It was. There was coffee. There was donuts.
Yeah, it was
I
very
got
cool.
a name tag that I left on specifically to tell you all that my donut name is Coconut Boston Cream,
Ew.
which sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it does.
Why would you ruin a Boston Cream
I'm
with coconut?
Rainbow Gooey Donut.
The rainbow gooey. That's
Where
right.
was it at?
It was at the kids' school, so it was Soph and Charlie and Isabel and Kai, and we went into their cafeteria, and it's called Donuts for Grown-Ups.
How fun.
It was really neat, and what
Yeah.
was really neat is me and Grandpa showed up, and they weren't expecting. Not all
No,
of them were
no,
expecting
no,
it, and
no, they
you would
were
have
not.
thought that rock stars entered the building. We're like, yeah, we're here because we're grown-ups, and
Brought
we're
the
ready
mimosas.
brought the mimosas. The hot donkey.
Man, yeah, I did have some parenting issues though when my daughter picked out the maple bar, and the 3-year-old finished the maple bar before we left,
And was licking her fingers.
and was licking her fingers. The
Yeah.
good thing is she is not at traditional daycare. She is with Denise today. So good luck.
I'm gonna run, Nene, run.
Yeah, run, Nene, run. That's right. So part of the donuts with adults.
No, donuts for grown-ups.
Donuts for Grown-Ups portion of the school was a thank you to parents and people, and today's episode is about thank yous.
Thank yous. Yes.
That's right. So we're going to be covering thank yous. You can see the background behind us. We did have a couple of shows within the last week. Some of us made it, some of us did not, because I got sick, so I had to bow out. Then Paul got sick.
I got
He
sick
had
too.
to
I had to
out.
bow out.
And,
Superman
Mark
flew in with his
Shinfield
cape.
jumped in. Yeah, they did a Ducks Unlimited event.
Yes.
They raffled off firearms, boom sticks, which is very common within the DU organization, and had a blast raising money for conservation of land, I believe. Is that what it
Wetlands.
is? Wetlands. There you go.
Wetlands conservation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. So note to self, if you're out there planning an event, make sure that you have verbiage or signage for all of your table sponsors, because that sounded like it was a little bit stressful for our
Yes.
team when we got there. Half of the groups had signs professionally drawn up. The other half did not. I don't know how we got to that stage, but I know that people were handwriting names on cards, and that became a little stressful.
And then put them on the little tables and the little, what do they call those little
Easels.
TV-looking things? Yeah.
Table tents?
Table tents,
Table
that's the
tents.
word I'm looking for. Little
Easels.
handmade table
Easels.
tents.
Easels. Isn't that for painting? That's like
Yeah,
art
but no, there's
gallery
little
stuff.
itty bitty easels too. Easels. They're called easels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you like an art shower at some point?
I have
Because
some art history.
just bust out the easels like it's no big deal.
I know how to draw a dog face.
I could draw a dog face. That's right. Claim to fame. I once drew a dog face.
We were in California.
Yes, you were. Let's
We
talk
were in
about that.
California. That was neat. My hubby, I love him so much. We got to sit in the DeLorean, not a DeLorean.
The
The
one from the show?
DeLorean
movie?
from Back to the
They let
Future.
you sit in it?
Yeah. So I think it's
Cool.
because of, of course, rock stars.
Oh, I'm
You
sure.
know who
Was
I
it like
am.
a VIP? Do you know who I am?
So we're going to put the picture of Mark in there in the newsletter because the picture of me and Mark in there, I look like a 3-year-old. I'm just giddy. I'm like, I'm so excited to be inside this DeLorean because there's Doc Brown's signature on there. Yeah, they've got the flux capacitor going behind you, making all that noise and the whole shebang.
Awesome.
It was cool.
Were people just quoting Back to the Future all night?
Yeah, well, some people, other people are like, what is that? You know, the younger generation is like, yeah.
And that's not a young movie. That's been around for a long time.
It
When did
has
come
been.
out?
It's pretty iconic. I mean, it's been
early 80s, I
Early
think.
80s,
I think it's
sounds
early
fine.
80s, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a legacy there, right?
Oh.
3 movies. Michael J. Fox, obviously, one American superstar.
Oh my God, yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
I would just run around yelling, "Great Scott!" over and over. That would be what I would do.
It was fun. It was super fun. They had a silent, they tried something new. So we'll see how it works out. But so they are closing their silent 3 days after the auction. So, there's mixed emotions on whether or not that's a good idea to do. It was mobile bidding, and it had been open Wednesday prior to the auction, and it would be closing Wednesday after the auction, and then you pick up your items on Thursday and Friday. The only kind of kicker about that we're curious to see what you got to test something that you want to try.
Right.
You be free to test what you want to try. Be okay for it to fail, and just know that we won't do that again, and that we may have success doing it other ways. But the beauty of this was that they had it all laid out. It was perfectly set up, and you pick up your items on Thursday and Friday. I hope they raise a pile of money. I really, really do. I'd never seen anything like it. I myself think that you need the urgency on night of,
Like the closing on the
Yep.
silent. Yeah.
You could use that, open it 3-4 days before, much like we did in our virtuals, right?
Mhm.
And then have that urgency to close it down. But I'm curious, I say hats off to them for giving something new a try. Those are the winners out there, the people that are trying all of it, and they're very prepared to fail. But it was a neat night. It was a super neat night. Anytime you do things for kids, it just feels good.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah, it's been a really fun season, and as we kind of approach the end of our spring season, that being mid to late June, we're going to be talking about mid-late early, somewhere in there. We're going to be talking about events that we wanted to celebrate for their accomplishments. We're starting to queue up our summer content. We're going to have a little fun with it some weeks.
Ooh, we're going to do some barbecuing, kids, so
Maybe
stay
some
tuned.
barbecue recipes.
Barbecue and tips.
Yeah.
These two, I want to tell you.
We know how to smoke some fish.
Yes.
I tell you what.
I know how to
good and
prepare
good
the
for
fish,
you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we might even get Schenfeld active in this get him out here.
Ooh,
Throw
now
him
we're
in.
All
talking.
I need is barbecue
Listen.
sauce.
That's it.
If Mr. Schinfeld is coming out here, I want an apron and a chef's hat.
Okay, done.
Done and done.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. So we have a lot of fun things planned. If you have any ideas or stuff you want to hear, make sure to let us know. But it's been a good season, and I'd like to thank, all of our clients and partners over the last couple of months, and I'd like to thank all of our team members. And I know there's a blend of you listening on both of those camps and other camps as well, but know that we appreciate you spending the time with us, like listening to us kind of ramble about what's going on in our world and what we think are best practices, but also a big shout out to the teammates. There's many people on our team that were literally ping-ponging all over to allow things to work. Whether it be locally or it's a couple states away, whatever the case was, a lot of kudos go out to our entire team and, of course, our wonderful partners who, on the whole, we've seen a lot of success with our partners this year.
We had to do a lot of adapting.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
This spring,
Yes,
and
we
everybody really stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
gals.
you.
And
Thank
thank you triggers our topic for today. It is the thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the general concept of thanking donors, volunteers, sponsors. And what we're going to do is we're kind of going to break it into 2 different sections. One being the types of gifts or thank yous that you could solicit to those different individuals. And then we're also going to jump in to what should be your underpinning thoughts and feelings as you go into preparing these thank you well wishes, if you will, whether they be tangibles or whatever the case may be. So we're going to start with some types and kind of jump in there. But even before we do that, let's talk about who we should be thanking and who we should be spotlighting with the thank you attempts.
Yeah, I'll start and then you can jump in on that too, Paul. But I think that you have different people, obviously, to thank. We're going to launch right into the volunteers since that's what our last podcast was about before our blooper podcast.
Yeah.
And I think volunteers, I think, the money that we raise at these events is very, very important to the organization. However, much like we said in the previous podcast, without your volunteers, nothing is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I think that we have to really focus on a huge thank you to them. I'm not sure what that looks like for your community, but it could be anything. You could even do this, which people that volunteer are volunteering because it's their heart and they want to give their time. They maybe don't have the assets to give. So this is what Mark and I received. Now this was for us being, I don't know if you can really see it, but
now, for the audio listeners, you're holding
I am holding a card, and it says, thank you. No, thank you, but it's wonderful. Thank you for making our dreams come true. And it's a picture of Abby and Reeve and Scarlett. And it is by far the most favorite thank you I have ever received, Mark and I. That's and it cool. is, they did it themselves. And so,
How old are they?
I'm going to guess 6.
6 years old, 7
years old. Yeah.
So cute.
So, this would work for your volunteers as well as your donors. But, volunteers is one group that you want to make sure you thank before, during, and especially after because you need them back the following year. Mm-hmm. Paul, What do you think?
Well, I'll verbally, definitely, you want to be thanking people all night. Everybody that walks in the door. Yeah. Everybody that walks in the door, and if you're part of the organization, needs a handshake, a hug, and a thank you. To get further into the weeds, we want to recognize, higher end donors. Mm-hmm. Donors at the higher end levels of either buying items that are $5,000 or more, or $10,000, or your upper 3 levels of your Raise the Paddle or Fund a Need. Those people need special recognition. You want to thank everybody, of course, but I think those people that really step up and give the higher dollar amounts or give the higher dollar value donated items, they need special recognition. Mm-hmm. And whether it is a professionally done card that's in the mail, that's signed by you and all of your committee and your team, that's a great idea. I like the idea of recognizing those individuals night of on the microphone and on the screen. Thank you to ABC Metalworks for donating at the $10,000 level mm-hmm. and kicking us off. And you give them as much recognition as you possibly can, because that's among many things, they're going to remember that part of the night because you appreciate them, and they're going to be more inclined to give, next year when you come knocking on the door and asking again.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly it. Celebrating the individuals in an attempt to make them feel like they're part of the community, and like you just said, Paul, coming back for future years, right? Item donors, as Paul mentioned, awesome. Volunteers, yes. Scholarships or sponsors, yes. I mean, we need to be thanking these individuals in our own special ways. Quite often you'll see those sponsors are thanked when having a gala or a celebration that we normally specialize in. You'll see those higher dollar donors really called out during those ceremonies. But that's just one instance of when you should be showing the gratitude to those different organizations or individuals, rather. So
I'm a proponent too of all these groups. This can fit with all these groups. You should have a thank you, week after your event that happens. Make it a thank you campaign that your group does, whether it be the kids. Each, if it's for school, the teacher saying, today we're going to do thank you cards for all the people that donated money and volunteered their time and sponsored. So I need you guys to draw a picture of yourself with the big heart that says thank you, right? But then you have another opportunity to thank them again in 6 months and remind them that we're 6 months away from this next auction coming up, so yeah. You could do the reminder thank you at that point and prepare them for what's coming.
Yeah, so let's dive into that a little bit, because you mentioned the handwritten card, which
love
is good.
This. I love this.
Let's talk about the types of thank yous that we've seen that have worked and what is working and what's not in regards to the type of recognition or thank yous that we've been seeing in the ballroom. Like what's worked and what has not worked.
I think you really have to look at the community. Mm-hmm. So I think that, there's a lot of like Boys and Girls Club, things like that. We just did one, a bottle of champagne and a balloon went out. Look, man, I don't like the balloon situation.
From an auction standpoint,
Why
you
not?
kill the balloons.
And also, is it helium hard to get?
Yeah. So, but I get it. Balloons are fun and all that.
How come the balloons are bad?
The balloons are bad, in my personal, very humble opinion, because they're right there, and by halfway through the night, you've got 10 balloons right at bid card level.
Okay.
And it makes it difficult for people. You guys see people doing this. You see them looking around the balloons. You see them trying to see the stage over somebody's balloon, and it just takes up airspace.
Yeah.
And it also takes time, to be honest with you, because you'll see people say, I can't see over that balloon.
Right, so it's obstructing the view of the auctioneer and the bid spotter being able to spot bids in the back of the room because there's 14 balloons.
Right, and that's a selfish thing. But from the guest standpoint, Polly, I mean, they want to be looking around a balloon for that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen an unhappy person with a Mylar balloon?
No.
Yes, exactly. End of story. End podcast. Shut it down.
Unhappy person 3 feet behind the person with the Mylar balloon, saying, "Get your balloon under control, woman."
All the time,
right?
Did you say that to somebody?
No, but I will.
Get your balloon
Get
under
your
control,
balloon
honey.
under.
Get your balloon under control.
Put that balloon under the table, you
That's
naughty
right.
girl.
You tie that to your wrist and you walk around with it so it doesn't float away. So balloons. Sometimes, yes, no. Right. Functionally, kind of difficult. If you personalized them, they could be cool. Personalized cards, like Kelly mentioned, that is the way to go.
This is so valuable.
That's exactly where it's
so
at.
valuable.
We'll
and
have
you
that
know what?
forever.
Yeah, and let's say that you are doing a fundraiser for a nursing home or a Boys and Girls Club or just anything. The Wolves, the Wolf Haven, even, right?
Yeah.
I mean, get a paw print.
Yeah.
A little bit of mud on there. Take that wolf paw and say,
I elect Kelly
Billy
as
the
the
Wolf
volunteer
says thank
for
you.
stamping 500 cards with wolf paws. I elect Kelly.
It is that important to thank people.
Important.
Right? It really is.
That's
it's
right.
Super is. And
And you
Custom
know what?
labels
Cards.
custom labels.
on a bottle of wine, on bottles of wine.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I mean, because I actually have collected some of those for some of the nonprofits I've served. Every year they've sold a bottle with a specialty label, and every year I try to make a donation and grab one.
Cool.
So, I mean, they're kind of cool keepsakes, and I think they go a long way. Especially
Yeah.
because, people that are into wine are into wine.
Right.
You know what I
No,
mean?
they are. So I say you switch it into vodka.
Ooh, we're gonna step it up this year.
Little Tito's with the
Tito's,
thank you on
Grey
it.
Goose.
I will be thanked that
And
night.
if you're playing this podcast's bingo game, we have a mentioned alcohol, so check that one off your list.
How about an item that we would use every day?
Mm.
Like, this pen has got a name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe a blender.
Yeah.
Help me here.
Somebody was it?
Something
Which
that
one
you'll
of these
use-
two men decided spatula?
A spatula.
That would have been me. Yeah.
That-
And you
Okay.
can see.
But if it's a nice spatula, maybe you keep it. It's almost like, oh, this is so novel. I don't want to throw
Cooking
this
eggs
away.
in the morning. Oh, look, babe.
That's right. Remember that night?
Remember that night? And he's going to say no, because the balloons and the vodka that was on the table. Anyway.
A couple of glasses.
Couple
Thanks
of
for attending the Black Cat Ball.
Tumblers. You could do
Tumblers.
tumblers that launched into glasses, launched into tumblers. Very
Yeah.
good.
I really like tumblers. Is
I
a
love
great idea.
tumblers. So far, I
you
have the two best ideas,
one of your
I think we should
kiddos
say.
had a wedding years ago, and we're still cycling.
She's
the
been
tumblers.
married, I want to say 4 years now.
Yeah, I said a year. That was totally
Yeah,
incorrect.
and
but
so we did tumblers for her wedding, and they turned out really neat. We all still drink out of them. I'm doing a family reunion for my side of the family this summer, and we're doing tumblers for that because it's something that you always remember when you drink out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a great idea.
Yes.
Okay.
A fridge magnet.
Oh.
Those are great. That's a great idea.
A little
big
3x5.
Just make sure it's a very powerful magnet. I'm tired of these weak fridge magnets. If it can't hold up one piece of paper, we got issues.
I hate that too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's
Just
not what
throw
the
them away.
magnets are for.
What do you mean?
Well, that's
They're supposed to hold things up. Isn't that
not
what the
those
magnet's
kind of
for?
magnets. No.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, those
mean,
magnets are just to stick on your refrigerator.
Didn't realize we were magnet aficionados here. Can you
I
please
bought a lot
elaborate?
of them.
I bought a lot of magnets.
I know how to
Yes.
do magnets.
People
Here's
are
a
saying
magnet,
that
that'll
I
last
am
forever.
a magnet connoisseur.
Some people think I'm the best magnet buyer, purchaser in the nation.
Also, I for our wedding we did beer koozies,
I still have one,
and
or two,
those
or
are pretty
6.
popular. Yeah,
That's a great idea,
Yeah,
too.
Do you
pretty
have
neat.
any of them?
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I do too.
I mean, we trying to get rid of some? Or?
No.
Okay.
Keeping
All
them
right.
forever. Might be at your 50th wedding
Forever.
anniversary on a walker.
With a walker and a prune juice and a beer koozie, you will be ready to go. Yeah, for sure.
Something that's going to keep your organization on people's minds.
All
even-
the time.
Even when they don't even think
Right.
that they're going to be. It's, oh, yeah. Oh, I remember Shelby's wedding. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor guy. Oh.
Yeah. And
That's
unique.
sound
I
like my
think that's
father-in-law. You know?
yeah. I think that's the whole goal
Just
there.
kidding, Kayla. I
Is
love
the
you.
unique. This is unique. This is unique. It's beautiful. The tumblers are unique. Again, both my ideas.
Ding, 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 ding.
MVP over here. Thank you for thanking me
I am
for
the
being
master
here.
at that. So
Yeah.
anyway, you guys are welcome.
You're welcome.
But yeah, no, we swag bags.
Yeah.
You could do something along that line, and knowing your community.
We did something last summer that really we had some issues on the back end, but we sent lemonade packets. We were inspired by another organization that sent out lemonade packets.
We
thought it was such a good idea that we took to it.
And we watched Hamilton.
And we watched Hamilton and stuffed some
Stuffing
envelopes
envelopes,
to
yeah.
make it happen. But yeah, like those lemonade packets were kind of cool because we got them in the dead of summer, and it was like, hey, enjoy a sweet treat or something like that.
Yeah, and you could just put on there thinking about you. Can't wait to see you in 6 months,
Yeah.
or whenever your event is, 3 months, whatever.
Yeah, and I will say, like, part of the struggles that we've had in regard to giving gifts as a company and also to our members has always been trying to find that right item. There's been times we used to host a golf tournament that'll come back. I know I've been hearing about it from a couple of you, but we've held a golf tournament for a while, and we got some complaints from our sponsors that were like, look, we want to give money. We don't need the swag.
Yeah.
So like there's certain items that if they don't come out quality or they're not unique enough, sometimes it can just feel like shovelware. And you don't want to give something just to give something. You know what I mean?
And I will say about that, because it is important to
It is.
understand what they're saying about that. That means that we as a group cultivated our thank yous early. And so they no longer required them.
Yeah.
So we made sure to make them know how appreciative we were for their donations and how important their sponsorship was to us. So for a solid 5 solid years, we
Yeah.
did strong gifts for those sponsors, really strong
Right,
gifts, and
Good point.
but that was that cultivation piece. And you almost want to get your group to a point where they say, Kelly, just we don't need another coach. Just thank
Yeah.
you. It's great.
It's a really good
Here's
point.
your money.
I mean,
But the only reason that they did that was because we cultivated that.
So now let's kind of dive into like the underpinning thoughts, right? We gave you a whole bunch of types. I just kind of nitpicked one of the gifts that we gave because people said, we don't need them, mainly because they already felt appreciated. At the end of the day, what your through line or focus needs to be on is giving gifts or thanking individuals, knowing how they're going to be received by each person. In other words, if you have somebody on your board who loves wine and drinking with their family, get them a specialty bottle of wine and say, hey, you know what? We appreciate the gift and the time and the energy. Here you go. Like specifically going in and figuring out what people are interested in and catering to that is only going to help you strengthen the relationship, which is something I feel like we say over and over on this cast, but that's really your end goal, right? Is to insulate that relationship with the appreciation they deserve.
And you could even do something as silly as socks. And
Yeah.
you have them monogrammed and say, come back next year, we're going to have, tails and socks or
Put the
whatever,
date on the
right? Put the
socks.
date on the socks. And that is a little
idea,
thank you,
right?
and you could have a community member, or it could be if it's for Humane Society, dogs and cats on there. Personalize it, put your MC's face on there, get their okay or whatever, and have a blast with that,
Sure.
Do something fun. By the time you're thanking them, it's fun time. by the time you're thanking them, not the big donors, because the big donors needs to be somewhat serious, followed by the funny thank you. But it's fun time. Now. Yeah. It's time to party and enjoy.
Yeah, and I think that the thought is more significant than the tangible. In other words, like the thought you put into something is much more appreciated than the actual tangible. A tchotchke is a tchotchke is a tchotchke, right? But if you actually put some thought into it, I think it can really go a long way. One thing that I have really tried to do as a person is reach out and connect with people just kind of out of the blue, right?
I haven't heard from
so
you
often.
Much lately.
Well, so often you're.
You never call me.
I do call you.
Oh.
I call you.
You call me all the time.
I called you once.
I just called.
Just say
I love you.
But you want to make it so where every time you do call, that person doesn't think, oh, geez, what do they want?
Exactly right.
They're calling asking for money.
Right, what I'm getting at. Right. So, like, sometimes you reach out to people and like, okay, how's this going? Like, I know people that call me, and when I see their name come across my phone, I'm like, all right, I know there's going to be a request here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So really what I'm getting at is, like, even reaching out and saying, hey, how's your day going? Hey, what's going on? Really goes a long way.
Yeah, it does.
We had somebody who was a great team member for years and years who had been with us. And I found that whenever I reach out to this individual, I'm asking them scheduling issues, not personal connects. So I've been trying to go out of my way to reach out to that individual every, month just to say, hey, how you doing? Because I know that relationship is more important than just benefiting one person. Right.
That's
so when you're
really
going through and
point,
trying to show your thankfulness, come from the heart and be a real person. Like, don't thank somebody hoping you're going to get a check in the mail.
Right.
Right.
Well, we are in the charity auction business, so do hope for the check.
Yeah.
But don't push for the check.
I mean, I have a realtor, right? He showed me a whole bunch of homes like 5 years ago. I still haven't bought a home and then ran this guy around this Puget Sound many a time. But like one day, it'll pay off for him, right? One day. And I think that is really where you need coming from. So thank yous. This was kind of a hard episode to prepare because it's such a vast,
it's wide, super wide
all-encompassing topic.
Right. Keep in mind, you don't want to overdo it and spend money and just waste it.
Correct.
Like, how many times have we been to a gathering or a golf tournament or whatever, and you get a pile of stuff, and then 90% of it ends up in your closet.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. We all do that.
Mm-hmm.
I like your idea, Shelby, of tailoring it around the individual. Hey, Bill, Susie, I heard you guys love to go to the Metropolitan Grill, and you guys gave us $10,000 last year, so
here's $10.
Here's $10 to the mouth. Hopefully this covers your ice water. Enjoy. Yeah.
I'll get you an ice water. That was great. Don't overdo it and waste money.
Right.
And if you do want to do something extravagant, try to find another supporter of yours that can underwrite it for you.
Good call.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we appreciate you guys being with us once again. A big thank you.
Thank you. And Abby, Reeve, and Scarlett, if you ever watch our podcast, thank you. Mark and I love this. We love this, and we will continue to give to you every single year.
Yeah. So as we mentioned, we are coming to the end of the season. So we've decided to kind of focus our next episode on talking about organizations that executed certain pieces of their event very, very well. So we've kind of thrown around a few categories. If you're a member of ours or a client and you want some more insight on who did the best at XYZ, let us know and we'll try to work that into our next cast. Otherwise, we're going to come with, 5 awards, 5 attaboys, 5 kudos to a couple of groups.
Yeah, as well as we are going to start, so those people that book an auction with us from now until September
1st.
Anyway, between now and September...
something or other.
Let's make a decision.
December 1st.
Between now and December 1st? Oh, what did you say?
October 1st.
Between now and October 1st.
I love that.
Okay.
Through Q3. Let's do that.
Yes. So between now and October 1st, anyone that books with us to do an auction will be put into a tumbler,
Yep.
and we will draw for a prize.
And we're going to draw it right here on this cast.
We're going to draw it right here on this
October
cast. That's
2nd,
right.
or sometime around there.
And what will the prize be?
The prize will be things for you to enjoy.
Be thank yous.
It will be a thank you of some kind.
No, we'll get to you with the prize. So you'll just have to watch the next episode to find out what the prize is, because I got to work the owners a little bit.
Exactly.
So you just can't give them $25. That's dumb.
Trust us, it won't end up in your closet.
It won't end up in your closet, and it will be worth it. So please, 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 let's get some auctions rolling.
Let's do it. That's exactly right.
It doesn't have to happen in that time frame. You just have to book it.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Contracts inked.
Contracts
in the
inked.
next couple of months. So thank you once again for being with us. We appreciate you being a part of our community. If you're watching this on video, hello via YouTube. If you're watching it on audio, know that there is a YouTube version of this cast that goes up. It's on our YouTube page. Please subscribe, like, and comment on the video if you'd like more. We also have a Facebook going out. So check that out. If you're rating this cast, 5 stars would be cool.
5 stars.
I mean, if you're doing it 5 stars, okay?
Thumbs up.
Intro music goes out to Mixard. Big thank you to Brighter Days Ahead by Mixard. We appreciate you joining in this week. If you know of anyone that could benefit from this content, please share. If you'd
Give us a call.
Send us an email. Send us to auction@auctiongroup.com. Auction@stokesauctiongroup.com.
Yep.
Or call us on the old phone.
We're here to help.
On the telephone.
It's called a telephone.
On the only toll booth
it's a
phone
telephone.
booth in
It's
New York.
a phone, not a rotary. Those are cool.
We do accept
collect calls.
Exactly.
Just preferably not from prison.
But we're also not outside of that way of thinking.
No,
either.
you know,
if you're in prison listening to this and need some services, give us a call.
Yeah, this would sound fast.
I love it.
Big thank you to all those convicts out there. We appreciate you being with us, especially if you have a record.
Hey guys, pray for sun. I'm ready for summer. Go be creative and be bold.
Awesome. Be courageous.
And let's raise some money.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you. We are out for this week. Later.
We out.